What's going on, guys? Welcome to Final Fantasy Brave Exodus video, and today we are going to be talking about Lasswell and Kunshira and 5-star Rowan. He didn't even get a 4-star version. Originally he had a 4-star version, but that didn't even come to the global side, so who knows when that's going to happen, if that ever happens. And also Lasswell New Vision, one of the many Lasswells that will be coming into the game. This one is going to be the one that, you know, can shift into being a mage and all that kind of stuff. You guys know who I'm talking about. So first of all, I did not give him a proper review on my JP review. I just kind of said, oh, he's just STMR fodder. But I looked at his kit more seriously this time, and I will go ahead and say what he can do. He's an ace type unit, just like Lasswell will be. He can chain with CWA as a 5-star, it's decent. And also he can be a finisher when his limit burst. It's 100 times mod, but he also has 150% limit burst damage passive, which is quite nice. And also he has a lot of killers. The negative side to those killers, I get to equip certain things to them, which is interesting. I've never seen, this is the first time I've ever seen someone needing to equip heavy armor for killers. Usually they're just kind of there, right? So you have to actually equip a few things for those killers, but it's quite a decent amount of killers. And yeah, he could be a makeshift finisher if you really want that to happen. If you're a new account and you don't have any finishers, maybe he could be your finisher, I suppose. And 200% magic TDH, which is fine. So, just like we're going to talk about in another unit or in this banner, first of all, he's a 5-7-star finisher in a New Vision finisher era. He's just kind of like something to help you along if you are a new player, I guess. In magic, TDH is pretty worthless. It's basically EPing. And what I mean by that is just, it doesn't really do anything. It just gives him a lot more magic, but it doesn't do anything. Magic True Dual is much better, and it will always be better as long as they don't change it to where if magic ever gives variance, it might actually be good, but it doesn't. So magic TDH is basically worthless right now, at least as of this recording, of course. I'm not even gonna give Rowan a score because he's just a decent finisher, you know. No, I don't know. Let's just go into Kunshira now. So, infinite turns on her Brave Shift form, 6 times cap or 600% cap. You may see on the wiki it'll say 200% chaining increase, and the reason for that is because units already start out with 400% or 4 times cap. So 200% more will be 6 times, right? Or 600%. That's how it's worded, guys, because in the future there'll be a unit called Savior of Souls Lightning, and her STMR gives 100 times to the chain cap, so that's why it was changed to be a percentage instead of times. So there you go with that. 150% True Dual Wield in both forms. 200% attacking magic TDH, but no reason to do that. If she has 150% True, if she has True Dual Wield and 600% cap, you want to go ahead and do that. You want to do the True Dual Wield part. And Mace and Rod breaks is good, very good, always good to have that, and things of that nature, triple cast, lots of imperils, and also AoE chaining for tower event, which in the recent one I've been really more appreciating a lot of these units that I talk bad about, because a lot of them actually are quite good in tower event. And if you guys don't know anything about tower event, basically every unit comes off the bench. And in this recent tower event, AoE was really useful, so there were a lot of units that didn't even see the light of day that I started using because they had AoE chaining. At least you can AoE chain. It doesn't matter if the elements match up. It doesn't matter that much. Just, you know, AoE is more important than anything, and also 3-star Bahamut one-shots anything. He's that strong. So there's some downsides, of course. Excluding the tower event, the multi-element chaining is really garbage and useless, so I don't know why they did that. And also hybrid mods are not really that high for being someone that needs to do those kind of things, so just not very good. Besides her, sorry about all that. Her limit burst can give 125% lightning and wind imperil, which is good for now, but in the future, there will be some units that can do higher imperils than that. Lauren, for example, can do 130, I believe, right? I think it doesn't last for very long, but it's not on a limit burst or anything like that, so I'm just gonna give her a 7 out of 10. She's good enough, I suppose. If you really, I know there were some people in my comment section saying that they actually were looking forward to using her. So if you really want to use her, that's cool, but you're probably not going to find any chaining partners. I mean, who's going to be using her? Unless you have someone like seriously dedicated to doing her, I honestly don't think that many are going to be using her. Now we have the aesthetically pleasing looking samurai mage person, Lasswell, whatever you want to call him, in all of his glory. 200% TDH in his normal form and 300% magic TDH in his brave shift form. I believe he has both, but there's no reason to have both in the other form. So he's a Olympus DPS chainer in his base form. Also, he has AMOE frames, but he also has Stardust Ray frames, but that's a lot weaker. But at least he has it, right? It's kind of like a thing you could use. He's an ace type unit in his Ray shift form, so that means like he's like ace, like he can deal magic damage with while being imbued, and he benefits from physical killers. So it's a very confusing mess for a new player. You're probably like, what does that even mean? Well, it's good in some ways, like he can chain with other mages. He has quad cast permanently in his brave shift form, which is still amazing to this day. Even on the JB side, I still think quad cast permanently is pretty crazy. 150% bug and also 100% dragon killer buff. Or maybe he definitely has a buff for that. That may just be his passives, but I'm pretty sure that I should have written down that. And also he can be a finisher, physical magical finisher in his brave shift form. If you don't have Terra or any of those other finishers that may have been good, he still can do that kind of stuff too, so it's good. And he has AMOE finger snap, I guess is okay. And he can chain with Sora, but it's ice locked, so really not so good. Because one of them is locked to ice, one of them is locked to light, so you can probably triple cast AMOE frames with that, I suppose, if you're really good enough. And can fill LB for all allies. I think it's 6 LB while chaining, so that's good. And he has a buff that gives insect and dragon killer and LB damage, which I don't think Zon can't spread that, but he can spread the killers. So that's another thing that you guys could be doing as well. So that's good. And of course, there's some downsides. His only imbues are in his brave shift form. If you need to imbue, you don't really need to, because he's mostly ice locked. So it's not as big of a deal really. And his imbues only last for a little bit, and then he's kaput. So the biggest weakness on his brave shift form, which everybody's talking about, and it's valid I suppose until they change it, hopefully. TDH has no variance at all for magic, so you could have 1000% magic TDH and it wouldn't really matter that much. Imagine if he had 600% cap or 6 times cap. That'd be pretty amazing. Everybody was singing a different tune here, so everybody's getting a lot of hate for that, but everybody's just ignoring the part where he's still a decent Olympus finisher in his normal form, which I've used quite a bit. So I'm gonna give him 8 out of 10. If magic ever gives variance, like I'm sure eventually it might, because why would they keep making all these TDH mages? Because I believe some of them are still, you can make them TDH if you want. Why would they still make them TDH if they don't get anything out of it? So eventually, hopefully they change it to where mages can give variance from TDH. I'm assuming then they would have to start making two-handed rods, right? Because that would be the same thing as equipping one-handed weapon. So they would have to make two-handed rods, which would be a whole more big money bag for them, I suppose. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for him. Very, very flexible dark visions unit that you can use his brave shift form for. He doesn't have to do a lot of damage, things like that. There's a lot of memes about him, that's fine, but he's a really good dark visions user. I'm still using him for dark visions. and he's good in that role as well. And finally, we have Eurasia here, New Vision Awakened. Infinite turns under Brave Shift form, 100% Dragon and Insect Killer, and I believe she also has some goal buffs that I didn't list, because you guys should already know those. I don't remember them, but I know that she got some global buffs. She has like dual cast for all of her abilities, but she'll have dual cast for all of her abilities anyways. So I don't know what that's gonna do with their global buffs and enhancements. They might have to do extended maintenance for that one, huh? So she can steal all of the imperils. She can steal imperils from your allies to herself. Calmia had that. Unfortunately, we don't actually have her on the global side, but she's very comparable to Calmia if you want to look at her wiki page on the JP side. And she's able to provide 60% physical magical mitigation on only a 2-turn downtime, so that's pretty good. And can replace your healer when the trial doesn't really need one that badly. Like you can live without healing one, maybe like not as much. Like 2-handed dragon, for example, it's really easy not to. You're rarely gonna be taking much damage in that trial. And she's the limit burst filling queen, which you may have seen in my videos a lot. I've been using her for that in that situation because she can fill 40 limit burst guys without, you know, X-naying herself just like someone else does back in the day. Not gonna say the full thing, but and also 100% LB damage buff, and she can cast it twice, so she can fill up 80 gauge in total. She can't cast it dual times because it's a grain disability, but it's okay. And she can also dispel everything, which is nice. You can remove debuffs, I mean, from all allies, which is really good. So the only cons I can think of is nothing. I can't think of any cons because the HP loss thing doesn't mean anything anymore. You can just heal that off. So who cares about taking damage from abilities anymore? I hardly even notice it. If you build her for high HP, because she's not going to be doing much else, just build her for high HP and it won't matter. Build her, give her some HP regen items, I don't know. There's a lot of items out there that you could build her with. So I'm going to give her a 9 out of 10. She's really amazing for the first New Vision Awakening support. Some people are forgetting a lot of other units that are also supports in this game, like Rain, for example. Just as an example, I'm not going to list all of them. But Rain, for example, was the first actual support Neo Vision. But this is an actual Neo Vision support buffer, you know, type support type thing that can do a lot of other things. But Rain, if you think about it, Rain and Eurasia are kind of very similar. They both buff stats. They both do limit burst stuff and all that kind of stuff. So very similar, but not quite. So 9 out of 10 for Eurasia. Hope you guys have a whole bunch of her, and if you do not have very many of her, I would recommend UOCing to get to at least. If you have 3, UOC 1. If you only have 1, it's a bit rough. Maybe if you have some Omni Prisms, you can maneuver that around to get that position where you can get her ready to go to, because you want her to get her EX1, and it's a bit tough if you only have 1 and nothing else. So first of all, you need to get her STMR. So it's tough. If you have 3 UOC, if you have 4, you're basically set. You probably would need to get 1 more, I think, right? Because you want to get her to EX1 because you get that Brave Shift form, which is more important than her normal form. Which her normal form is good, but her Brave Shift form is just way better. So I don't want to hold you guys any longer. This has already been a long video enough. I apologize for the yawning. I don't know why. I was fine the whole time until I started recording. So if you guys like this video, please give a like on this video. Can you see at least 50 likes on this video to show you guys that you still want me to do these reviews? Please give a like on that, and also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. It would be greatly appreciated, and all that kind of good stuff. And I hope to see you in the very next one. If you watch all the way to this video, make sure to type in #GrannyPower. #GrannyPower is the keyword, and let me know how many Eurasias you got. Peace.